Evening, everybody. Icy here. It appears that New York City Mayor Eric Adams is at the end of his rope. He wants the more richer citizens of the city to help foot the bill for all the illegals that came to New York because, hey, they're a sanctuary city. So, my suggestion to the mayor is rather simple. Ask the federal government and specifically the U.S. military to send troop transport ships to New York City and then just gather them up, put them on a ship, and ship them back to South America. Take about 4 days steaming to get them back. It's a lot cheaper to transport 4,000 at one shot than it is a couple hundred on an airplane. Airplane may be faster, but you're going to get more done in the shortest amount of time. So I would recommend getting some troop transports. I mean, one LHA holds around 4,000 troops. So you figure if you got 3 LHAs, there's 12,000. Then you get some LSTs. You know, they don't have LPHs anymore. That's the one I was on, an LPH. We carried 1,500. So but you get those troop transports, and you could even get civilian ships and commandeer them and load them up and just ship them back south. That would be the quickest way to do it. The only thing is you got to get the federal government to agree to it. And right now, the Democrats that are currently running the federal government do not want to agree to anything like that. Why? Because these people are voters. Plain and simple. 9 million illegals within 2 years, and they are the new Democrat voting base because they're telling them you can vote. You can vote in a local election, a state election, why not a federal election? They do. I know for a fact they do it in New York State. I know of an illegal who votes, so it happens. I don't want to hear them say it doesn't. The only way you're going to prevent illegals from voting is for the government to implement a uncopied valid voter ID card, fingerprint, photo, hologram, whatever. But you have to have a valid voter ID card, and you have to vote in person, unless you are deployed overseas in the military or you have a legitimate business where you are stationed overseas. Other than that, if you're lazy and you're sitting at home and you just don't want to vote, go and vote, don't vote. But none of this mail-in crap. And right now they have issues with the voting machines. You heard about what happened in Pennsylvania, where they would cast a vote and then it automatically went to the other guy. So if it's happening at that location, we don't know if it's happening all over the country or not. Now, when Trump was running for re-election and Biden won, the biggest thing they were claiming is that it was voter fraud, that Biden won illegally. How do you get 81 million votes when you never even campaigned? You sat in your basement and you didn't get out. So it's highly understandable why they're claiming that the election was interfered with, and it was an illegitimate election on the part of Biden being elected president. Now with that lady down in Georgia who worked for the mayor in that one city, whatever, and she was caught on video, ballot stuffing, and you got the voter machines in Pennsylvania that are changing ballots. You had the contested elections going on out, and I think it was Arizona. It has to be corrected before we go and vote next November. It has to be. It has to be corrected, or else you're going to go through this crap, and it's going to cause a civil war, I believe. Because one side's going to say it's legit, the other side's going to say it's not. They're going to be going at each other's throats because there is no set standard for voting. There must be a nationwide set standard, not a statewide. Because states, everything fluctuates too much. must make a nationwide standard. Voter ID. Vote in person unless you meet certain criteria. If you're sitting at home, if you're elderly, what you do is you call and they will transport you to the ballot location so you can vote. And if you hear this, well, you can't get a voter ID card because you don't have any way to get there, or you don't have your birth certificate, that's bullshit. You couldn't get your welfare checks if you didn't have all the documentation that you need for a voter ID. Everything, you couldn't get into school without that documentation. It's easy to pull up. So you can't use those excuses anymore. In this age of electronics where everything can be pulled up instantly, I don't want to hear this crap about, oh, well, it's, you can't do it, or it's prejudicial towards you, or it's racist. How the hell is an ID card racist? But needless to say, we need to remove the illegals because they're going to vote, and we need to get voter ID cards. Those are the two things that we must do now before next November. It's a hands down. These are must-do things. Because if we do not do just those two things, count them, 1, 2, voter ID card, get rid of the illegals, you are going to kiss your country goodbye. Plain and simple. I know it's not nice to say. I know a lot of people are going to say, you don't know what you're talking about. You have no clue. Let me put it this way. At least I know history. Most of you people that are under the age of 25 don't know history. You've never even discussed it. Half of you don't even know where your own city is on a map of the state. You don't know who the founding fathers were. You don't know anything. You wouldn't even know how to read the Declaration of Independence because most of you can't read cursive. Okay? So there's a lot of things that an old person like myself knows that you young kids will never know. We didn't have cell phones that you could sit there and just pull up the information. We had to look it up. We had to go and dig it out. We had to impact it into our brains so that we wouldn't lose it. And that's something you people don't know. Just like I keep hearing people about, oh, we want to save the planet. You don't know how. Look, we used paper bags, not plastic. We used to recycle our soda bottles and our beer bottles and even our milk bottles. And the companies got the bottles back. They cleaned them, sanitized them, and reused them. This is the things that we did. We used to walk to the store if it was 2 blocks. We didn't hop in a car and drive 2 blocks just because we felt like it. We didn't eat out at fast food joints. We cooked food at home. And if we went out with food, we made sandwiches at home and brought them with us. So I don't want to hear, about saving the planet. We don't know. You people are lazy because you don't want to do these things. You're spoiled. So, I'm sorry. I got off track. Let's go back to, just like I said, we need to save this country, get rid of the illegals, and get voter ID cards. ICY out.